Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet and of YouTube, and welcome back to Ringlight Fables. I am your host and dungeon master, Skijaramaz, otherwise known as Toneshift, and with me today we have our full party of players. We have SepiaWolfe playing Tuki Fletcher, our Croven Thief. Sepia, that is your cue to say hello.
I did say hello.
It never picks you up the first time.
For some reason.
It doesn't, I guess.
I don't know. We have Mick playing Boron, our half-dwarven battlemaster.
Salutations.
We have Willyzin playing Ludviek, our Raithari paladin.
Hello.
You turned into a very chain-smoking sim. We have Goldwyn playing Minnove, our kobold bard of lore.
I'm going to do a really fun thing, guys, because I notice I sound really muffled in the recordings. I'm going to take off my pop mic filter of aka the sock that I put around my microphone and see if that makes it any more clear.
No, you usually sound fine. The problem is when you lean away from your microphone and your voice goes way the hell over here.
Oh, so like this. Like exactly like this then. Like
yeah. And last but certainly not least, we have Impulsive playing Kari, our Croven bard of glamour. Who has said nothing.
Is it not picking up my bird noises?
Oh, there you are. It did not pick up your bird noise, no.
Not at all.
Wow.
Is that how you sounded like, Impulsive?
Maybe noise suppression.
It was a little much, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, no!
Either way.
Fine.
So, where last we left off, our band of adventurers, who still don't have a name and probably won't ever need one, but you never know, had ventured on from the city of Antarine, making their way north towards the Academy City and capital of Valriv, Asmara, to wrap up the handful of objectives that have been looming long over their heads since this adventure began, bringing word of the events of Kanala's Rest to the powers that be, returning Donal Halkis to his family, and other general assorted personal endeavors. On the way, the party found themselves, as the night set in, pushing through the dark just a little longer than they otherwise might, in the hopes of reaching one of the many houses of respite erected by the worshippers of Valn along the roads of Valriv, and found themselves coming into contact with a extraordinarily incompetent cult, which was in actuality just 5 traveling friends who had had the blunt misfortune of losing all of their food, foraging for food, and accidentally ingesting some mushrooms that gave them some spectacular hallucinations that made them think that they were the chosen of a fungal deity that they named Shrumvasa. After laughing at their hilarity for a few minutes, the party employed Ludviek's lay-on-hands power to purge at least some of them of their fungal infection and clear up any other issues so that proper conversations could be had, learned the truth of this matter, and discovered that Vingus and his friends, the fungal and the stoners, had lost their wagon full of food when their horse had been scared off the road after coming into contact, however briefly, with a lone and surprise yellow-scale kobold, the likes of which don't typically exist this far north. Usually yellow scales reside in the forests of Orovir far to the south. For them to be here in Valriv raises interesting questions. Curious to see if they could recover any of Vingus and his friends' supplies, and, in Minnove's case, locate the yellow scale, Tuki, Ludviek, and Minnove set off from the House of Respite to investigate this matter. I believe Kari was with them, or am I misremembering that?
No, he was.
He was.
Okay, so that just left Boron to babysit the boys. In the end, the horse and the wagon were found, but regrettably, it seems that in the horse's panic, it had launched itself off of a ledge and fallen to a fatal impact with various spikes of stone growing out of the ground, perhaps the remnants of some old stalactite system. No one's really sure. It's just a bunch of spiky rocks that crushed the poor horse to death, with several pouches worth of supplies missing from the wagon, but the rest left surprisingly untouched. Calling out into the forest in the hopes of hearing back from this yellow scale to, well, for who knows what reason, Minnove did shout out, but received no reply. Somewhat downtrodden and a little upset, the away party gathered what supplies they could from the wagon and began the return trip to the House of Respite, which was where we left off last time. So, my friends, it is still night out as you begin to make your way back towards the House of Respite. Are there any conversations you wish to have en route, or are you just going?
Minnove will be... I'm assuming Minnove's on Ludviek's shoulders again, to kind of keep pace.
Yeah, he's got much longer legs than you.
He does, very much longer. And Minnove's just gonna kind of like sit there kind of quietly, playing with his mane a little bit, maybe like braiding it, but mindlessly just not really talking.
Are you alright?
Hmm?
You seem a little dejected that we didn't find anybody.
Oh, yeah, a little. Nothing that I'm not worried about. Just a little disappointment here and there. Never hurt anyone, right?
Suppose not.
Minnove's gonna look over and be like, so, really had hoped that at least there was something there. But yeah, it was a few hours, possibly 6 hours cold, maybe, at the very least. So, it's kind of foolish of me to assume that he was there, or they were there still. So.
Say foolish. Just hopeful.
The fool's gambit sometimes.
Aye, but if you had not gone, you would never have known.
Known what? The kobold got away?
True. He might have been there, for all you know. And it is the nagging sense of not knowing, which could be worse than knowing itself.
I hate it when you're right.
Either way, we at least found something that would help those poor men, and they will not have to resort to eating more mushrooms on their way.
Well, I was thinking we could give them some of the berries that I picked yesterday morning.
That is awfully generous of you.
You did have me leave them with them.
I did perfect. Thought it was at least that we can do to help them keep sober enough, since they can't seem to forge well. Well, either way, maybe we'll run into the kobold and on the travel up. We'll still have to go up further. So, who knows? They are very territorial, so maybe. But that's just optimistic thinking.
Feel if we're the one to say you should remain optimistic, it might seem a little disingenuous.
I did say that, didn't
No, I'm a very pessimistic person.
I? No, you're right, Tuki. You're absolutely right. Gotta reap what I say, right? And she's gonna try and balance herself as she stands on Ludviek's shoulders now, grabbing onto his mane more, like gripping onto it.
Ah!
All right,
Careful up there.
onward! Let's go! Let's go get our druggies or whatever.
Let's go get our druggies.
Let's go
It's
see
quite
them.
different.
And
Apparently, I've traded my occupation for now being beast of burden. Carry the load of
Well-
all these sacks, and you as well.
well, you offered. So what am I to say no to an offer? Riding onto a big, large Rythor.
I know you're trying to butter me up, and it is
Is it
working.
Ah! See? Cutie. Alright, let's go!
Alright. So, continuing on, it doesn't take you terribly long to make it back to the House of Respite, where, just real quick to get Boron up to speed on what's happened, Donal has kind of made himself comfortable. Vingus and his friends, those who are still high, have passed out again. Everyone else has just kind of tucked themselves away into a corner where they're just kind of looking sheepish as shit. And after a while, the door pops open, admitting the away team, I guess. Vingus immediately sort of stands up. You're back. Did you find anything?
Yes, we found stuff. Unfortunately, we have to break the news that horse didn't make it.
Oh.
But the bright side is, some of your items have been salvaged, and we have them here. So,
Sort of pass forward what you were able to salvage. All right. Thank you very much. Imagine we might be able to make this last if we ration it carefully. At least until we can make it to Antarine.
you know, I have a friend in Antarine, down by the east side, west.
I believe it's the.
She's
I
like
believe
holding.
It's the east side.
She holds her hands up and be like, east, the east side. Tell
Make
him.
an L with your
Minnove
thumb
sent-
and your forefinger.
Tell him. Tell the owner there, it's Blue Butterfly, that Minnove sent you.
Huh.
He'll take good care of you.
Blue Butterfly. I think we've heard of that place before. Never been. Bit just a little out of our price range.
A little bit, but she'll throw my name in there, and maybe Rob will be nice to you. Maybe not. Who knows? We'll see.
Alright.
Let me know how the ratings are.
Also, the stable in North Antarine has an affordable donkey for sale.
Oh right.
We might
Just
look into
saying.
that. Thank you kindly.
Kindness is a very rare thing on the road these days. It is good to have it spread.
Right. Well, and then Vingus kind of looks around and sort of looks at the betting arrangement, because this particular House of Respite only has like about 6 beds worth of sleeping space.
Uh,
3 bunk
Don't
beds
mind me.
along each wall, so...
don't mind me. I will sleep outside. I'm not so good with enclosed spaces, especially enclosed spaces with no more space left to move.
We got a comfortable cart outside. Well, that's enough for me.
I think a night under the stars would be beautiful.
Alright.
It's not raining or anything, so
How many total of the cultists were there again?
5.
And it's like,
there's one
okay.
bed.
Yeah, so we'll give that one to Donald, I think. He's like, I think you should take it, Donald. You still need your rest.
Oh, that's very generous of you. Thank you. I won't argue.
Don't take the mushrooms if they ask if you want any.
No, I've already eaten. We had dinner on the road.
Yes, but I want to let you know. Again, don't eat the shroom.
You don't have to. I know. I was there. I saw the whole thing unravel.
I know you were there. But
Why
I'm
are you
just
whispering?
reminding- Because a stage whisper is a lot more funny when everyone can hear you.
Kind of like just rubs the space between your horns. True enough that. All right. All right. I won't eat the mushrooms. I don't think there's any left, but I won't.
Good job. She's gonna put her like pinky out as like a little pinky promise.
Okay. And he just kind of reciprocates awkwardly because. All right.
Good job. Now you can't break it. I'm gonna go outside and sleep. You don't. Just sleep well. Have a nice night. Night night.
And then she just waddles out and he watches you goes like, huh. Right, it's been a long day. And he just flops into bed. So am I correct in assuming that the plan from the rest of you is to just find spaces around outside to sleep?
My idea was just going to be, it is very dark already, right?
Oh, yeah,
Correct?
like, it's like midnight at this point.
Midnight. All right. Well, that, well, you know, okay. I'd still like to set up a quick camp, at least, just basically outside the door, in a sense.
All right, just I won't necessitate
like
a roll for this. You have supplies on hand. The respite house has basic things for starting a fire, so it's pretty easy to just get a tiny little fire for yourself going. Get some shelter going with like your camping gear that you have. So I won't necessitate any rolls. It'll just take a few minutes.
All right. That's basically it.
All right.
Set up camp during camp light.
All right. So, with a little fire, a little ways outside the front of the respite house to keep yourselves warm, just a little off the side of the road, you tuck in for a night of rest. And it passes uneventfully. The night drags on and then eventually passes you by, the sun rising on a new day. You all take a full rest. And as the sun is rising, sort of birds chirping all over the place and the various evergreens that sort of surround you, Donald is first out of the respite house, sort of stretching languidly. Well, as it so happens, that bed was a little lumpier than I was expecting.
I feel like it was much more comfortable than the road.
Probably, but still, I now have POPs, which is not okay. I'm not that old yet. I'm old enough that I still...
Boron, what are pops?
I believe it's also a word for father.
No,
I
like,
wouldn't know.
like my bones, they pop when I stretch.
Oh.
All right, John called. There was word for that. Oh yes, onomatopoeia.
Ludviek,
What?
could you say that a little slower, please?
I believe she called it onomatopoeia. I am not quite sure what it means, except it means sound.
I don't know who's peeing, but whatever.
Anyway, can I just do a quick medicine check? I want to see if I can just crack his pops out for him.
Sure. I won't make this a medicine check. This will be a strength roll.
Okay, strength roll. Okay. Not saving throw, regular.
6.
He is sore.
That was one above a failure. Crit failure.
Right. Okay. Let's see here. Oh no! Donald didn't do great on his Constitution save.
Oh no.
So you go to help him pop his back so that he's not so stiff, and what winds up happening is anyone watching, you just kind of see Ludviek kind of position himself behind Donald, just kind of wrap arms or sort of under his armpits and lift a bit so that it's his legs are dangling, and you hear this loud, and Donald is going, "Oh, down, 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 down." And you put him down, and he just bends over, hand on his back. Oh, that went wrong. Oh. I think you gave me a hernia.
I'll walk over to him. Cast healing word.
You're gonna blow a spell slot on that?
I'm gonna blow a spell slot on that and be like, "Okay, Donald.
Okay.
There.
Okay, you pump some healing magic into him. You can't necessarily see exactly what's wrong, so this is mostly just painkiller. But it seems to do the trick, as I was like, my back is still stiff and I'm having a hard time righting myself, but that doesn't hurt nearly as bad, thank you.
Very sorry, Donald. I had practiced many bone setting before. Apparently you went a bit too hard. You're still healing. I have my apologies.
My bones weren't out of alignment, they were just stiff. Oh.
Please don't ever set my bones.
Tuki in the corner, just absolutely terrified.
Tuki and her hollow bones. What about your bones? Are your bones okay? Your poor bones. Anyway.
I tried to help, but I hurt instead.
You say you're the hammer of healing, but you didn't really do money.
You're right. Donald holds up his hammer. Let's try that again.
I think not.
He just laughs at his own joke and puts it down.
Oh, God. After a couple more minutes of just breaking camp and getting your things loaded back up into your own cart, Vingus and his friends sort of come out looking as fresh as they can be with the limited supplies on hand. Vingus kind of takes the head of the group, the others sort of hanging back looking very sheepish. Right, well, thank you again for getting back some of our things and recognizing that we were in fact not a threat and just dealing with us appropriately. I am afraid this is awkward.
Very. Bye.
Farewell. Friends, let's go. And they just hoist up their things and start wandering off south.
Wave goodbye to them. Yeah.
It's the sensible thing to do.
Yeah. The funny thing is, as they're walking away, you see that at least one of them does actually have, a civilian-grade short sword belted at his hip, which is odd because you remember when they were approaching you last night, they did so with butter knives. Why didn't they bring that? You don't know. That best guess wasn't culty enough.
It's a good thing we were not wandering pieces of toast. We would have been in trouble.
You could say we would have been toasted. Why aren't you a joke?
Okay. we would be burned. But they had knives. They did not have fire.
Freaking. She's gonna hop into the wagon, like all grumpy, like, and be like, "Well, let's go."
All right. So, loading yourselves up into the wagon, making sure Butterscotch is fed, watered, and all the things that are needed. You're starting, at a fairly decent hour. And before long, you are once more setting off, making your way northward toward the city of Asmara. Let me just swap out the music really quick and pull up a document I need for myself. I need to double check some information real quick. Okay.
Do you want us to stall?
No, it's fine. Just needed to double check something is all. So, as you continue northward, the path that had been ascending sort of gradually begins to dip back down as you start to approach the river that feeds into Lake Bafloril. By the time you are, hold on a minute. That's not working correctly. Do work with me here. By the time you're reaching, I'd say about halfway through your day, you can actually see the river in the distance, sort of coming up over a hill, a brief place where the forestation sort of thins around you. It's it's a surprisingly wide river with various smaller ones sort of joining into and feeding into it as you sort of follow its path further up south. One of which, of course, probably having come from Lamsong itself, as you recall, a shallow stream weaving through that town. You can see a handful of what appear to be somewhat smaller, maybe fishing boats, sort of coasting up and down the stream. Kind of idyllic almost. But not spending much time on that, you continue on. You cross over a well-constructed stone bridge, and before long you're out into a stretch where as the day is starting to wear on, the sun dipping down toward the horizon, the bright shades of the day gradually starting to thin out for the hues of gold and lavender that accompany the hours of evening and dusk, you can just make out the white noise of the shoreline of Lake Bafloril as waves crash against the sands in the distance, just gently rolling in and out. As the forestation around you thins somewhat, giving you some more view of the terrain, sort of looking off to your left. You can't see the far side of the lake from here. It's way too big for that. But you can see the water sort of stretching off before you, catching the evening sunlight and faintly glimmering with ring light as the sun begins its descent. Eventually, you find yourselves a little spot to camp for the night. Doesn't seem that there's a functional house of respite along this particular stretch, unfortunately, or if there was, it was awkwardly placed for you to use it for the night, so you chose to press on instead. You get yourselves a nice little campfire going as the sun sets. Any conversations you wish to have, or are you just pressing on?
That is a breathtaking sunset.
Sun rises in the east and sets in the west, right?
Yeah,
Not sure about this world.
I try to keep it fairly similar to that, at least in terms of sunrise, sunset, keeps it consistent. So that would mean that, yeah, the sun would be on the other side of the lake from you. So yeah, it would be a very breathtaking sunset. Good catch.
Rather beautiful.
You know, I always like this view whenever I come. So when I came by, I guess. It's a very warm kind of feeling, you know? Though water is absolutely terrifying.
It is if you find yourself out in the deeper parts of it, for sure. Find yourself in a
Look at
shallow
you.
stream, however, plenty of splashing around to do. Very fun.
Look at me, Donald. The shallow end is deep.
Maybe so. But also, you have a big tail. You have far more control on the water than any of us here, perhaps.
Well, don't compliment me like that, Donald. I think you're coming on to me or something. Jeez.
No. Just saying it how it is. Also, you are a scaled creature. The water would just slide right off of you.
True. But...
Like water off a duck's back.
You compliment me and then you call me a duck.
I'd say like off a duck's back, not that you are a duck.
Quack.
Something wrong with ducks?
No, nothing wrong with ducks. Nothing at all. Just...
Nothing wrong with ducks, no.
Nor any other kind of feathery creature.
They're very capable water birds. The problem is they don't shut up. That's their only real problem. Seagulls are worse, though.
Seagulls take your food.
They're the rats of the
Ducks
sea.
just take your bread. They are. Bastards, they are.
Seagulls.
They're not as bad as geese. Those are the ones you have to look out for in the forest around here. If you find yourself by one of the shallower streams and you see a bunch of geese doing their thing, keep your distance or they will drink your blood and consume your soul.
My mother used to
It's
tell me
not
they were
very
very-
pleasant.
Oh, you have experience.
Unfortunately.
My mother used to tell me that geese were vampiric some way.
These geese, they steal your soul? They sound like demon.
It's a figure of speech. Geese are just... They're assholes. They're little white birds. They kind of resemble ducks, but they're much bigger. They have horrifying arrays of teeth in their mouths, and they're usually very mean and very aggressive and very rude-spirited.
I was worried for a moment there was some sort of creature from deep.
And they taste great if grilled.
Grilled goose. Can't say I've had that before.
It's pretty good.
Well, if you ever find yourself confronted with geese, make sure you kill some and cook it up for us. I'd be curious to try it.
What about you, Tuki? What do you think?
About geese?
Well, I don't know. You're gonna say something. Unless it's geese related.
I know not of these geese, other than they sound terrible.
I did.
It wasn't important.
Oh.
But this is quite beautiful, yes. Almost like a sea. I do not think... Yes, yeah, he hasn't seen the sea. I assume this is what the sea would look like.
Very close, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tuki, you... What's the sea like? I've never ventured off of the continent.
It's very strange because it's almost hard to tell if you're going anywhere. You can tell because of the wind, but you see nothing in any direction but water. But sunrise and sunset are beautiful because everything is sparkling.
Well, like this view, it's sparkling. You know, if we were closer, I'd vote we take a dip.
It's like 4 miles to the beach. Like, you can see it from here because they're on kind of an elevated position, but you're not necessarily close to the water.
Yeah. Hence why it's... If we were any closer, I dip my toes in.
Bell ring, beach episode.
It's going to happen eventually. Let's not kid ourselves. I've run 2 multi-year campaigns in a completely different setting. Beach episodes are inevitable. They happen. If there isn't a beach, there will be a shopping episode.
I think we had the one already.
Or a party episode, or something like that. Just an episode where the characters decide, fuck the plot, fuck the story, fuck the drama, we're having a blast. And just fuck around on the beach, or like have a party, or just something, and just spend the entire session doing that. And I'm sitting here like, we are making no forward progress, but this is delightful, and I wouldn't change a thing.
Fun for the future.
Indeed.
So,
I guess since we're out in the open, we gotta do watches, right?
If you wish.
so
Yeah, probably a good idea.
I do have a question for everyone.
Hmm?
Since we're nearing Antarine, I know Donald is to go to Antarine. Not Antarine, my goodness. my directions are... Sorry. My directions are all words.
You mean Asmara?
Yes, I mean Asmara. I know why Donald is going to Asmara, but you all said that you had other sort of business there. What kind of business, since we're nearing it?
Donald's business is my business. After that, doing the... what do you call it? The round? I do have, I go to see every city. Bit of a pilgrimage.
Yes. As for myself, obviously I want to reunite with my father, bring word of everything that happened in Kanala's Rest to his attention and the attention of those that can do something about it. One of the towns is now missing its leaders, so that needs to be addressed. After that, I don't know. Probably just relax a bunch.
Ever thought of taking over a position of Kanal's Rest yourself, Donald?
No.
Too much work?
No, it's not that. That's just not what my family does.
Ah.
Yes, my family has a role to play, but it's not really in politics. Good on for that.
I can never get myself into politics, to be honest.
I mean, we have a more efficient system here in Valriv than you might find in places with a more conventional nobility structure, but it still has its problems.
As a parent with Kanala's Rest?
Well, kind of. The thing is, I don't want to bore you with the details, but generally speaking, there are 4 Cadams, not counting the Arch-Cadam, and each Cadam sort of has a precursor, or not a precursor, a successor that they pick, generally speaking. So, if a Cadam dies, then their successor can immediately fill in the role. And then it's up to the successor to choose who will be their successor, and so on and so forth. The successor also generally functions like a regent if a Cadam is temporarily indisposed, kind of like what you might find in Amira, where if a king can't rule for a given amount of time due to illness or what have you, a regent rules in their stead until the king can resume their throne. It's kind of a similar deal here.
You believe Veronica had one as well?
Veronica wasn't a Cadam. She would have fallen under the influence of the Cadam of Antarine. She would have been, her rank would be more like it depends on what part of Valriv you're in. It's governor or mayor or what have you. Landlord, that too. Basically just in charge of a given town and the surrounding environs. Kanala's Rest is too small to justify having a Cadam.
I suppose I'm getting this wrong. Oh, I'm just... If the person in charge... I had questions about it, but I realized I was on the wrong track, because Idenir did not have a good situation for their leader being gone.
Idenir's a weird town. It's like right on our border with Parvara, so there's a lot of overlap that happens there. What was the situation?
I remember
there, though?
hearing that the city is very, what is the word? Tumultuous. Change constantly happens there.
Yeah, I gave up trying to see through the leadership succession roles, whatever. I just accept who is the current boss.
No.
Well, it is mostly out of our hands. Most we can do is make sure you get home, and after that, I don't know. Was thinking, what about you, Tuki? What are your plans once we reach Asmara?
Well, speaking of Idenir, I met a very kind family that let me stay with them when I first got to Valriv. And the daughter of the house is studying at the Mage Academy in Asmara. It was a reason to go there. I thought I might stop in and say hello. Though now I'm realizing that that does sound sort of strange since I've never met her specifically.
Perhaps, but
I mean,
if you have word of her family to bring her, then...
I have good news.
well then
At
there you
least,
go.
so.
There's some sort of reason other than being like, hello, I randomly stayed at your mother and father's house for a length amount of time, and I'm here to come see you for no other reason other than to see what you look like.
Well, that would be the honest answer. I don't know.
It's like,
I mean, honesty sometimes is the best policy. Who knows what would happen? Who knows what you'd say?
I'm
I know
sure
what
she'd
I'd
love to hear about their family.
I don't know. It was an excuse to give me a direction to move instead of a random one.
You know what? Sometimes you just need some of that.
Well, there's also the city of scholars, which also means city of doctors. Perhaps one has done some work into Cloven who have had cases such as yours. Perhaps there is a solution there.
That would be a lovely daydream.
Yeah, you'll never know until you look. Can't help but notice that one of us has remained silent, just eyes at Kari. Or is the storyteller not worth it telling a story of what his plans are?
Oh. I think I have shared my plans of simply seeing the sights traveling around, Nothing too fancy. To see what's on offer here.
Well, it is Academy City. From what we've heard, it is, must have a lot.
it's...
And I hope it doesn't bore me.
Well, I suppose it all depends on what you find exciting. It's the Academy City. There's a lot to learn, but also that means it's full of libraries, which means that if you're going to the places where the learning happens, more often than not, you're going to be asked to keep your voice down. That said, being as it is it has so many highways and major trade routes flowing through it, if you're in the outer rings, there's plenty of movement and activity there.
You see, Tuki? You are totally silent half the time. You'll fit right in.
Considering a fun, uneventful day was him getting mugged. I'm very curious of what an eventful day is.
I'm sure we'll find out.
It's not like he can get mugged twice. They're mostly bookkeepers. After all, it'd be quite embarrassing if a bookkeeper were to book you.
0. It's scary.
Carry on.
Carry on. Okay. Well, very excited for you all. What about you, Boron? You don't really talk much about and you just kind of stand silent, stoic. Boron?
The stare.
Sorry?
Oh,
You were talking to me?
I
Sorry.
was. No, all good. Very stoic, silent type. I get it. Understandable. What are your plans? You don't really talk much about them other than gold and plans on just moving, I guess.
Well, I haven't had a good gig in quite a while, so I thought Asmara might be like a place where I can find a profitable job.
Gig? So like mercenary work. Bounty.
The things I do, yeah.
Fascinating. Oh well. Ain't no time to... We're wasting time just talking about it.
What about you, though? You asked.
I did, didn't I?
you do seem to spearhead the question game, and then we haven't had much of a chance to turn it back around on you. So.
Oh. Okay, well, put me on the spot.
It's only fair. You spotlighted the rest of us how many times now?
If not a performer, I have to share the stage. Well, to be honest, answers, mostly. Hopefully someone in Asmara has seen, caught wind, tale of, of another kobold, I guess, like myself.
You're looking for someone?
Just... Yeah. For quite some time, to be honest. And, I've already made my rounds around being someone that I haven't spoken to, someone new, might have answers. One of the reasons I wanted to find that kobold was, one, it's all very hard to come by here in Valriv. Met a few. None of my skills, though. Other than
Right.
one.
Minnove, either speak a little closer to your mic or turn off noise suppression
Yeah,
because you
sorry.
keep cutting out.
Let me go right up here.
Yeah.
How's this?
Yeah, that's good. Like,
Um.
yeah, like noise suppression is good, but if it starts making you cut out, maybe adjust it a bit.
Where was I before I started cutting out?
I mean, we caught most of it, I think, just
Okay.
kind of just in and out and in and out a bit, so.
Father cult?
Hmm?
Specific cult?
Yeah. My mother.
Huh.
And, part of me is a little naive and hoping, so there might be answers. Optimistic, right?
Huh.
It's all I've been having to go on for. What has it been now? A decade at least.
Huh.
So,
Well,
that's my tale.
well, if if you're trying to find another kobold like yourself, I might be able to... Well, it's a long shot, but the work my father does put him in contact with people who've been around Valriv a fair bit. It's a long shot, but there's always a chance one of the people who works for him might have run across a red scale like you.
You have no idea how much that would mean to me, Donald.
I'll run it by him once we're there. We're still a day or so out, though, so...
Yeah, no worries, all good. I'm gonna keep up my appearance as maybe.
Right. Well...
Anyhow, with that, I'm gonna go to bed. You all can continue talking or continue conversing, but this little guy's gotta go to bed.
Go get your rest. I should probably clock out too. My brain is doing funny things. Alright. So, if there are no other discussions to be had, then it is time for watches. So, who would like to take first?
Tuki will take
Yeah.
first.
Alright.
I will take second.
Alright.
Boron will take last.
Alright. Tuki, just a little closer to your mic, please. And roll me that perception check.
Is that better?
That is much better,
my
yes,
God.
thank you.
Okay. I moved it like 3 millimeters.
I mean, if it's like a headset mic, that can make a big difference. 20 on perception. That's a pretty big deal. Alright. So, tucking your, finding a sort of an elevated spot in a nearby tree, I guess, to keep watch. You settle yourself with your back to the trunk, keep your eyes out on the surrounding environment, monitoring the camp and the forest edge some distance away, barely illuminated by the silvery glow of the pale ring at night. Nothing harasses your camp over the course of your watch, but you do occasionally find your eyes briefly drifting back towards Lake Bafloril, towards the faint shimmering of the ringlight upon its rippling waves, and just a weird kind of somewhat bitter form of nostalgia kind of trickles along the back of your head as like you kind of recall what it's like to live on an island surrounded by water. So it's been a bit since you've seen that. It's a weird feeling. But otherwise, your watch is uneventful. Ludviek, you are up.
Alright. Oh, come on. And active perception, correct?
Yes.
Alright.
22, goddamn. So,
Sheesh.
nose to the air and eyes alert to the shadows around you, you keep a very vigilant watch. Nothing hounds the camp for a mercy. Just occasionally you see some... At one point, you see a flock of birds sort of flying out across the night sky, flying west from where you stand. You can't make out what type of birds they are, but they fly out over the waters of Lake Bafloril. Go, 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 until eventually they disappear against the horizon, almost as if they merged with the line of the water itself against the distance. Nothing else happens of note on your watch, though. Mick, it is to Boron.
I don't think I can keep up with these high rolls. Oh, I can!
Oh!
Boron, feeling somewhat like you've been underperforming of late, you lock the fuck in.
It happens.
It happened.
So you maintain a steady vigil, sort of practicing, sort of remembering various times that you've had to stand guard in the past, maintaining a keen eye with the one you have, standing ready, tower shield, long axe, sort of held, not necessarily at the ready, but in your palms, like a sentinel standing guard before a vulnerable door. Eyes scanning over the party, out over the water, over the forest. Attentive, vigilant, ready for action, which is fortunate because at one point during the night, you hear absolutely fucking nothing. Your night goes fine.
Oh. You make perception rolls then.
So I
Jeez.
could do atmospherics. And like
I
have
see.
like, yeah. Sometimes I do watches not to throw
And then
things at you,
maybe.
but to break up the pacing a bit and to give your characters a chance to do some internal reflecting and roleplay opportunities. Regardless, though. So, with that, the night passes, a new day dawns. A grim one, however, as gray cloud cover rolls in with the rising of the sun, almost as if it's racing to beat the golden streaks of morning sunlight to shroud the world in gray, and brings with it an uncomfortable drizzle. Warm, given the time of year, but you have passed the warmest part of the year. Temperatures are going to start dropping in the coming months. But regardless, you load yourselves back up into the wagon and proceed. If there is nothing else you wish to do en route,
Minnove will put her big coat over top of Donald, being one of the only ones that is flesh
all right?
and possibly uncomfortable while wet.
All right, you do that. He is grateful for the cover, for the umbrella, kind of pathetically huddles himself up into it. The rain persists long into the night. And on into the next morning. But after, let's see if this will cooperate with me. I'd say it's getting on towards dinner time when you come up over a ledge, a rise in the terrain, sort of a shallow, sort of a ascending crest that leads probably to like sort of a Pride Rock-esque rocky bluff overlooking the water. As you sort of come up over the top of that ridge and you look down and you see sprawled out before you none other than the Academy City of Asmara. And those of you who have been here before, it's nothing new. But to everyone else, you look upon perhaps one of the most impressive cities you've ever seen. At the very center is the first thing to draw your attention, a towering structure. Ancient, perhaps, older than Valriv itself. An enormous spire reaching up many, many tens of stories, with various off-branches and sort of protrusions reaching out from it. Its architecture not necessarily matching the rest of the city. Those of you with scholarly inclinations won't need to roll for this. Anyone who has history as a proficiency will know that that structure is in fact of Orion design. It is one of several such spires dotted across the surface of this continent, across North Shore, the other most prominent example being in the city of Underbridge, to the south and west of where you are now, in the Kingdom of Emira. The surrounding structures are equally tall, magnificent, gleaming like silver almost, even in these sort of drizzly conditions. And you can see, even from here, sort of just impressions of it as a silvery sort of bloom through the drizzle and the gray day, the glow of arcane runes. This is a sprawling city, its center rising like a mountain peak. You can see a large and well-populated port, not necessarily with large naval vessels, but cargo barges and river-crawling ships of various types, from delivery to fishing to all sorts of others. And you can see those same boats sort of coming and going out of the harbor, out into the waters of Lake Baflurel, most keeping to the shallows, but some wandering farther out into the deeper reaches. It is a large round city, tall walls, and bustling with activity even at this hour. It's frankly majestic. As you sort of come up over the hill, Donald sort of looks out, sort of still swaddled in Minnove's coat, and sort of visibly sort of relaxes, draped in wet clothes as he is. He almost kind of looks like he melts a bit. Home. At last. Been too long since I've seen it.
Well,
It's a very majestic place to call your home.
Tell me about it.
Oh, let's get you to your actual house.
Yes, please. My home is closer to the city center. He sort of points toward that towering spire. The spire is the Kadam's palace. The central university surrounds it. There's sort of an outer ring surrounding that. My house will be in that outer ring.
ooh, hoity-toity.
I did say my father has some importance to him. Let's go.
Fancy.
So, pulling on ahead, you roll the horse and the cart down through the towering city gates, well guarded on all sides by soldiers. You can see like a handful of city guards on either side. This is definitely a well-guarded city. As you come out onto the streets proper, you are immediately hit with a sense of sort of organized chaos to the layout. Those of you who have been here before will know it well. The city has... It's almost like it didn't start off as a city. It started off as just a school and some surrounding farmland, and it only grew into the massive city it is now over the course of Long Winter and the reputation it developed after the fact. And during Long Winter, there wasn't a whole lot of urban planning at the time. Everything was built as a matter of necessity when and where it was needed. But once the snows receded, things got a bit more organized, but there's only so much you can do when your foundation is shaped like bad cookie dough. So you have this orderly but disjointed layout that you imagine could get very confusing for invaders. You can see as the cart is rolling through, Donald sort of leaning forward to give directions to the driver, who I assume is Boron.
Correct.
He sort of is pointing out the way, what routes to take to get to his abode. Easy enough for you to navigate. You've been here before. And as you're going, you can occasionally see sort of like, despite the rainy gloom, that you can see occasional, almost like as like the sun is setting and the dinner rush is starting to click in, the sort of almost like street performers every so often, especially as you get deeper in towards market squares. There are sort of strings of rope connecting various roofs with orbs sort of attached at the middle, glowing with white runes that actually provide a degree of shelter from the rain. You can see that if you look up, raindrops fall, but as they get near to the orbs, they sort of just redirect off to the sides and deposit themselves into gutters far away from the main road. Some raindrops do make it through, but it's far less of a problem in these sort of stretches.
Yeah, Boron is pretty much soaked
Yeah.
in his armor. He does have a cloak, but that doesn't really cover it all.
Yeah. You pass the occasional lamppost that doesn't appear to rely on candle flame. You see more of the white runes etched into, like, the sculpted and formed metal that provides warmth and light as you're passing by. And it's starting to sort of occur to you that none of you, except those who've been here before, have seen so many things thick with enchantment before. That was an ominous swell. What the hell? City of Neverwinter, calm down.
Oh no.
So calm down, city. Calm down.
The lamp is threatening us.
Why is the boss music playing?
Why do I hear boss music? Anyway. Regardless. Eventually, however, with Donald pointing the way, the wagon passes through a few more sort of sections where the city walls sort of create necessary checkpoints to get deeper in. An invading army would have several gates and walls to get through to get to the central palace. Eventually, you find yourselves in this sort of outer ring of various upper-end homes, sort of hugging up against the wall that sort of divides these upper-class residences from the central university grounds itself. And eventually, your wagon sort of is pulled down a somewhat longer road and then off to one side where you see sort of at the end of a wide-ish path, it's a manor, but not like a giant one. Like, by the domains of the wealthy and the flamboyant, it is demonstrating a degree of restraint. And here we are. This is my family's home. Lived in it for a good couple generations at this point.
Well, do not run. Go.
Come on, you're all coming with me.
Of course, but you should take the lead. It'll be really weird if we just walked in and they're like, whoa, what's a kobold? We really are a bad joke. A kobold, 2 Kraven, a Rythar, and a dwarf, a half-dwarf, walk into a town.
Maybe your jokes are bad, but mine are hilarious.
Oh, what would you get off of that joke?
You still have to prove that.
See, Boron's really funny. Boron's hilarious. I
I have
Boron.
nothing to prove. Thank you very much.
And Ludviek is just commiserating with Boron at being wet, because keep in mind, he is also thoroughly soaked in. You've seen a wet cat before, all right? This guy has lost all of his proof. He is just sticking to him.
It reminds me of like Simba from The Lion King, pushed into the water.
Tuki's very used to walking in the rain.
His mustache is drooping. Let's just put it that way.
Would we be able to take some shelter and dry off before meeting Donald's parents?
Oh, I imagine that'll be easy enough. You're going to be invited inside. You'll have plenty of time to find a spot by a fire and warm up.
Well,
Donald kind of hops out the back, legs wobble just a little bit as his boots kind of sort of splat against the sort of wet cobbles. He sort of wobbles a bit. Here, Minnove, have your coat back, and he passes it back to you. Before.
I'll hold it out and kind of like ring it.
Then he goes and moves as quick as his condition allows toward the gate. There's like sort of a low wall with some like black iron ornamentation and spikes, kind of gothic style, sort of surrounding the grounds. You see a single guard standing in front of like the main gate who sort of approaches Donald as he's sort of jogging up. The two trade words that you can't quite make out from this distance over the rain before the guard suddenly yanks Donald into a hug and you hear some laughing from them. And you get the impression these two know each other.
I would be surprised if they didn't.
fact that they are friendly instead of just employer-employee. That's nice.
It is.
After a second, Donald sort of turns and waves to your group, beckoning you forward.
Well, I believe that's our cue.
Right?
Yeah, you guys go. I'll take care of the wagon first.
Well, don't be too long.
Yeah, I'll be back.
All right, so with that in mind, the rest of you sort of hop out while Boron turns Butterscotch to make for the nearest stable. You approach the door, or to the gate. The sentry sort of steps forward. Looks to be a younger chap, human, maybe like in his late 20s at most. Huh. So you're the lot that
Hello.
saved young Master Alcus, are you?
Some of us.
Well,
That would actually be myself and Tuki here. Ludviek pats Tuki on the shoulder here. There is another, Boron, but he will be in a moment. The rest of these two, however, they helped. They were invaluable in escorting the young master himself home.
yes, while they weren't necessarily these two, and he gestures to Minnove and Kari, while they aren't necessarily the ones who rescued me, they did do a lot of heavy lifting in helping me get home. Well then, Master Godfried will be delighted to see you, I'm sure. Here, let me get the gate. And he fumbles for a second in his pocket, grabs out a key. The gates sort of squeal a bit. He sort of winces. We need to get those oiled. Do you need any help, Donald? No, I should be fine enough to get inside. You get to get out of the rain. Wish I could get out of the rain. Yeah, that sucks.
Here. And Minnove will give him a coat and be like, hold on to this. And she's going to cast Prestidigitation on it so it's kind of dry. Before getting wet again.
So it's like dry for like 15 seconds as he puts it on, and then it's just soaking again, and now he's just a sentry who's very colorful and soaking. It's like,
There you are.
this is... Thank you?
Hold on to it for me.
I feel like if it's going to be held onto, it should be inside where it will be warm and not ruined by the rain.
Minnove.
I'm supposed to stand out here.
Yeah, you stay out here. But you deserve some sort of shelter or umbrella. What do you want, Kari? Stop pulling on what?
Normally, you would hand such a thing to a doorman. This is not a doorman.
Well, he is a doorman. He's a gate man.
No, this is a gatekeeper, not a doorman.
It is a
Well-
notably different job, yes.
What? But I'm sorry. I don't understand this fancy smanchiness.
The gatekeeper opens the gate. The doorman sees to your belongings when you walk inside.
Well, I have a lot more belongings that the doorkeeper can take. Doorkeeper, gatekeeper, what?
No, he takes the objects that you're not expected to carry around inside.
Whatever the fuck. Let's go.
And the guy's like, okay. I'm colorful.
Ludviek nods to the guard.
Do-
Ludviek nods to the gate guard and says, "Thank you. She is quite exuberant."
I'm getting that impression. All right. So,
Kari's just gonna walk inside.
all right. So, ascending up a curving flight of stairs, it is in short order before before Donald is sort of ushering you in through the front doors. These polished wooden things, patterned, sort of pop open with a stately creak that see you inside, and you are hit by fairly fresh air, very clean and warm, that kind of washes over you as you all step inside. You get a very cozy atmosphere. The floor is tiled and carpeted, but not like with deep reds or anything. It's more of like a sort of a dark, rich blue. There are a handful of what appear to be like family portraits sort of on the walls to the left and right, doors heading off to the left and right, a staircase in the back. And as you're stepping inside, Donald sort of shakes out his hair a bit and calls out, "Father! Tora!" And after a few seconds, you see sort of descending the stairs from up ahead. You see a sort of withering elder of a Kraven with a walking stick and old glasses sort of balanced precariously on his beak, descending the stairs one step at a time. Looks in your way and his face lights up as he sees Donald. Oh, Donald, you're alive! He sort of picks up the pace a little bit, and all of you watching him think he might fall over any second now. This is an old fellow. Oh, we thought we'd never see you again, lad, as he pulls Donald into a hug. Oh, what happened to you? You're skinny as a twig. You know what? No, spare me the story for the moment. You are wet, you're soaking, you must be exhausted. Come, your friends too. A pleasure to meet you. My name is Tora. And he holds out his hand to you as he's sort of nudging a somewhat exasperated Donald towards a door off to the right.
Minnove's gonna do a really cool trick.
A really cool trick. You press the digitation, and that trick is?
She's gonna dry herself off and try drying everybody off and press the digitation.
Okay, you can do that one at a time, so I imagine you do yourself first.
Oh yeah, she does herself first.
So you dry yourself, and you feel like your clothes are just a little tighter than they used to be, but it's fine.
Must have
Oh
shrunk
no.
It's like, oh. That'll stretch, it'll be fine.
Is there a doorman?
You get given the hour, you get the impression that the doorman is probably not in effect at the moment. Visitors at this hour were not expected. You arrived, you didn't send word ahead, so there isn't a doorman at the moment. You get the impression that's probably, this Kraven's job, though, as he sort of goes through quickly shaking everyone's hands. Please, do come in, make yourselves comfortable. I can take your coats if you'd like. And he sort of holds out one of his arms, and it's like, you see like there's like a little shake in it.
That's alright. I prefer to keep all my things on me.
I already gave my cloak to the gatekeeper over there.
What's going to get ruined out there in this rain?
It's been ruined before. No worries. It's heirloom of sorts that no worries, don't worry about it. It's perfectly fine. I've used it as an umbrella many a times, and a bed, and a blanket, and lots of other things.
If you insist.
And then the moment Minnove does Ludviek, the armor and everything is clean, and then he looks like this.
He poofs.
In memes enough time.
You can't. Yeah. You gotta remember, we can't see that in the recording. So, but yeah, he went all poofy.
Yes. He's just going to be like, thank you very much,
okay.
Minnove.
Kari is trying to do a thing.
Oh no, is there a hook that I can leave my coat on? I couldn't possibly burden one as aged as you with this heavy burden.
Oh, thank you, young man. Yes, there should be a coat rack just right there. And he sort of points like the corner, sort of right next to the door.
So, thank you. He's gonna put his coat on the coat rack.
All right. No, please, this way. And he sort of pushes open the door off to your right and ushers Donald inside. He's like, Tora, please, come on, you mustn't stress yourself. No, you need a warm fire, a good drink, and some food. Don't you worry, you sit down and you rest. I will go and fetch your father, young man. He's sort of ushering Donald into his seat, and it's a very comfortable sitting room that you sort of follow them into. I assume you're following them in.
Yes.
There is a hearth sort of against the wall immediately to your right as you're stepping in, sort of framed on either side by currently curtained off windows that you would imagine would give a breathtaking view of the yard and the wider city beyond. There is a warm fire blazing in the hearth, or there is in a moment when Tora pulls out a small ring stone from under his shirt, utters a few words, and a couple sparks fly out from the tips of his fingers and into the fireplace, and a warm blaze starts to roar in there. There are a handful of red-cushioned seats sort of situated around the fire, a lovely coffee table in the middle, polished wood. It's very bougie. There's a chandelier overhead, which he also lights with a few quick words of magic. And, yeah, it's very cozy. Get comfortable, please, friends. Get yourselves comfortable. Make yourselves at home. Any friend of Donald is a friend of ours. Of that I assure you. Now, and with that, Tora is going to turn and start making his way out, sort of like he's hunching forward slightly in what you imagine is his approximation of the sprint hunch, the sprint lean, but he's still moving at a slow pace, and like his walking stick is as he's going.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Minnove, that is a doormat.
No, that's an old man.
No, he offered to take our coats. That means he's a doorman. And probably the butler as well, if I had to guess.
He's an
More or
old
less,
man
yes.
That wanted to...
He's my father's butler and also, I guess you could say his secretary.
See?
Seems
Not a
like-
doorman. Butler and secretary, 2 different jobs.
Doorman is part of his responsibilities, but yes.
He has many roles, it seems. And he knows you quite well. I assume he's been with your family long?
Yes, there's a reason he walks around with that walking stick. He took an injury in his leg when he was pretty young, and it never healed right, so he couldn't really travel.
You seem very set
That
off
is-
by that, Tuki.
That is a
You're very-
shame.
It was,
Very-
but at the very least, he's very good with numbers. Krovan, excellent memory, very smart fellow, and very good with kids, so he managed to find work, starting off as a servant in this household, and, well, eventually Father caught wind of his various capabilities and decided he'd be in a better position in a more direct form of assistance rather than just bringing the food and cleaning cobwebs out of the corner. He was afforded more responsibilities to keep him busy.
So he's also the nanny. Oh,
No, my mother changed my diapers.
too much information, Donald.
You're the one who brought
TMI.
up nannies.
I brought up nannies because babysitter, not because of diaper change.
Well,
that
well,
is a wet. What are they called?
They are wet when you pee, yes.
No, I'm talking about what's the word of where rich women have babies,
Wet
but
nurse?
they wetness. Thank you so much, Tuki. Brilliant, absolutely.
No.
Wetness.
No, not exactly, no. Tora spent a fair bit of time with me, yes, but he was more my tutor than my babysitter.
Oh, that's cute.
Well, one of my tutors. He took over when any of my other tutors weren't available. His other responsibilities to the household didn't leave him sufficient time to just, educate me. I imagine it would have been a lot easier if I was also a Krovan. He'd only have to teach me anything once and it would stick.
It does have
Ah.
pluses and minuses.
It would help me immensely to remember certain things, that's for sure.
Either
Give me a
or.
moment.
Ugh, it has a really nice house. And she's gonna sniff the air a little bit, trying to get the smell of whatever the house's aroma is. And
Perception check with
delicious.
advantage.
Oh my goodness. Advantage perception.
14. For one thing, you're tired, because you've spent the last several days on the road. And also, it's been a very dreary day with all the rain, so you kind of still have the smell of rain in your nose, so you're not necessarily going to get any of the specifics for the 14, but sniffing at the air, you do get the vibe that this is a very storied house. This is an older structure. It's kept very nice, very neat, very tidy, and very warm, but it's an older structure for sure. And you get a lot of mingling scents. You kind of pick up Tora's scent, and he kind of just has like stereotypical old people smell following him around, kind of stale, but like he kind of smells like a combination of stale old person and recently dried wet dog, if that makes any sense. It's a strong but kind of pleasant combination, honestly. The rest of the place has this kind of, it's very clean smelling, but you can detect layers of personages and events, but nothing you can make definitively clear in your mind.
You know, smelling it smells like if I was to ever have like a true home, this is what I feel like a home smells like.
A big home, maybe. Then after a minute, the door that Tora left through suddenly sort of swings wide open. You all sort of turn to look, and you see a taller gentleman, another human, a balding head, kind of a thick but short, bushy beard. You can definitely sort of see the resemblance to Donald in that beard, though this man's is far more well kept. He's dressed in these kind of sort of thick furs almost. If you've seen Edmond de Fortom from Final Fantasy XIV, kind of has that vibe going. And his eyes settle on Donald, and just his face lights up. My boy! And he surges forward. Donald stands up and is promptly knocked back down as his father barrels into him and more or less tackle hugs him into the seat. Oh, my boy! I thought I'd lost you. You were distressingly close, Father. Oh, it's good to see you too. Where have you been? As the old man sort of pulls back. When you didn't come home from your last trip, we sent people out looking for you, but no one came back with anything. It was like you disappeared. That is quite the story to tell. A long one, and involves my new friends here. And the man sort of gives Donald another quick hug before following his gesture to look at you all. Sort of takes you all in for a second, rights himself. Right. Pardon me. Where are my manners? My name is Gottfried Halkus. A pleasure to make all of your acquaintance.
Nice to meet you as well.
The pleasure is all ours.
A solid half of their company saved my life, and the rest were instrumental in seeing me safely home. I want to
Speaking
hear
of
everything.
half, what is Boron back yet with the?
We could probably wait a couple minutes. He should be back before too terribly long, I should imagine.
Yeah, no, stable in the general vicinity, and just take the horse and the cart there.
Yeah, so if you all want to wait for Boron to catch up, you totally can.
At least introduce ourselves. I assume we just introduce ourselves.
Yeah, you can do that. So, you take a quick moment to sort of introduce yourselves, and after I'd say a couple minutes, Boron would be showing up, looking like a grumpy dog, like a grumpy wet dog, just covered in water.
As usual.
Yeah. Like you have a prestidigitationer on hand.
Don't get that magic near me.
Come on, Boron, just stay still. It won't hurt. Everybody else did it. Come on. This is what we call peer pressure.
You don't want to...
Boron flinches a little.
Peer pressure, but we are not near the dock. We are not near the harbor.
Ha ha ha, so funny. Ha ha.
What do you mean funny? It is honest question.
Okay, the word
appear as in equals.
companions.
Oh, right! Right, yes. Just only used that a couple times. Yes.
Well, is this all of them, Donald? Yes, this is all of them, Father. Well then. Tell me everything. And we won't necessarily necessitate a full recounting of events here. I'll have Donald sort of go into it, though. And tells of how he found himself in Kanala's Rest after catching wind of the occasional disappearing traveler in the settlement, was curious to look into it, and got in over his head and wound up among them. The first to make it through Veronica Shayella's torture dungeon under the settlement, and there, as a result, a prize to be kept by her sadism, locked away in a hidden chamber where he was kept barely alive for months on end, before eventually being found by others who had been unfortunate enough to wind up in her same deadly trap. Most of you. Minus, one who is no longer with the group, a wizard who had fucked off after the fact. He spends quite some time regaling Godfried with the story, and in this time, eventually Taro actually comes back, bringing with him basically food for everyone. Basically small little plates with us, warm little, freshly, not freshly baked, but freshly warmed little breads and small cakes that he sort of passes out to everyone so that there's something to nibble on. And eventually Godfried, or Donald rather, goes on to talk about the incident with the bleak feathers in Lamb Song, and kind of skips over the mushroom incident, you notice. And, after all that, we came the rest of the way, and here we are. Goodness.
I do actually have something to assist a little bit. Tuki will hand over the notes and journal pages that she hung on to.
You pass those onward to Donald. He takes them. Huh. Well, you probably could have left these with the commander down in Antarine. Kanala's Rest falls under that Kadam's jurisdiction directly, but I'll pass these along. Thank you. And thank you for saving my son. I don't know if any of you have any conception of just how worried I've been for him.
I can have an idea.
It was always worrying when a young hunter went out for the first time, even if he was being watched. I know quite well the worry a parent has for their child in this situation. But it is good he is home now, and safe.
It is. It is.
And he was instrumental in bringing down Veronica herself. His knowledge was invaluable.
I mean, I don't want to take too much credit. She changed everything up by the time you took me through again, but...
But you let us know that the end was itself a trap, and that allowed us to prepare.
I suppose I'll take credit for that, sure. Well... I don't even know what to say. You've brought my boy back safe and sound. If there is anything I can offer you in exchange for this, just name it. It would be my pleasure.
Now I'm not greedy.
Boron.
I insist you don't walk away from here empty-handed. I have to repay you somehow. This is my boy's life. And you went through so much. You deserve something, at the very least.
Donald mentioned that you might have some sort of connection to people.
Yes, actually. How much did you tell them about what I do, Donald? I kept it vague.
Just that you mostly have connections.
I do have connections, yes. A fair few of them. They don't answer directly to me necessarily, but I can reach out to them. Is there something you're looking for?
Yes, similar, I guess, in similar vein. I'm looking for a red-scaled kobold like myself. If you would be able to get any word on that, if anyone that you're connected to knows or has seen someone like me that's not me, I would very much appreciate it.
Do you have any deeper descriptions? I do not mean this with any offense, young miss, but to many non-kobolds, many kobolds will look very much the same to them at a glance. Do you have any identifying markers that could help narrow it down?
Minnove's gonna think for a minute, because this has been a while.
I remember the drawings you sent me.
Mm-hmm.
I can send you a real quick summarization if you need a reminder.
Yeah. No, I'll try to describe it the best I can. Well, one of the most the biggest factors is she almost, it looked like she kind of had a crown of horns. Such a spine, all red mostly, a little bit of beige and such. But
I sent you something over PM Goldwyn.
Yeah, I see. The last I remember her wearing, again, this has been a while, but she wore purple robes, kind of revealing to your human standards, very loosely fitting, gold trimmings, like I guess how I have gold on me, and she had these, I don't even know what they were, but they were almost these crescent handles. I never seen. I hit my hand against the bed or against the couch. But it's almost like a crescent shape, almost like a croissant of some sort.
I don't think croissants are crescent shaped, but all right.
Are they not croissant? Crescent? Croissant?
I don't think so.
I believe they are.
I might be mistaken.
Actually,
because that's Coruscant.
No, it is correct.
That's different.
No, actually, the croissant is entirely because of its crescent shape.
Yeah.
They look more like bad formed poops, honestly. I googled them. That's not a crescent. I'm sorry, that is a bulge.
What do you mean that's not a crescent? That literally is the shape of a crescent.
No, crescents are curves.
It is a crescent. That is a curve.
Is it?
Yeah, like a waning or waxing moon.
Have you never seen a croissant before?
Now, if you're looking at Pillsbury crescent rolls, those are drastic. Those aren't croissants. Those are just called croissants.
Those are.
Look, I'll send you an entire video on Fat Electrician later about the entire origin of the croissant. But trust me, they are meant to be like a crescent. Like a crescent moon.
Okay. Now I see it. I was looking at the wrong type. Okay, now I see it. So a weapon.
Etymology.
So a weapon shaped like a croissant?
I don't even know what it was, to be honest, but it was. Sorry, I'm bringing back. I'm trying to think hard about things that are real and not. I was 10 when I last saw her, so it's one of those kind of faded memories of becoming one at least.
So, and how long ago was it the last time you saw this woman?
A decade, I'd say, or just over.
All right. Well,
We used to live in Antarine. And she's a lot more mean from the sounds of it. I don't really recall it, but my uncle, Rob, he says that she was very exactly what you kind of expect a kobold or red scale to be. But yeah.
I can't guarantee anything. If it's been 10 years, then the odds of anyone in my employ having run across her are slim, but I'll put out feelers, and if any word gets back to me from anyone in my employ, I'll be sure to let you know.
Honestly, even the thought of aid helps.
I'll do this favor for you, but I also don't want to get your hopes too high. That is a very
Don't
broad
worry.
search.
Don't worry. Hopes have been crushed multiple times before. There is no surprises to this search. I can guarantee you that.
Right. And the rest of you?
I myself do not want for much. I'm mostly looking out for those that I know and friends. But I am on a somewhat of a quest, in a sense. You know many things and know many people. By chance, have you ever heard of another historian, scholar, one that might have been studying extreme cases of Krovan yearnings?
And he sort of looks towards Tora. That's not really my field of expertise, I'm afraid. Nor the field of expertise of most of the people I know. The most informed person I know about it would be my assistant.
Well, it is a city of knowledge. There must be something here.
Well, you could check any of the numerous libraries or archives. Perhaps you could check in at various universities, but, well, the Krovan themselves have been looking for a solution to the yearning for ages. I'm not sure what you're likely to find, if they haven't found one yet.
But one never knows until one looks.
And you? And he sort of looks towards you, Kari.
I'd have to think a moment. There's not too much that I want for. Unless, of course, you happen to know of anyone who's suddenly shown up in town with a bunch of money buying a lot of things.
I don't think I know of anyone like that now, I'm sorry.
Hit me over the head and stole my money, so I'm trying to figure that out.
Oh.
But if anything else comes to mind, I suppose I could say something.
Well, it need not be tonight. As far as I'm concerned, I owe all of you a favor for bringing me back my son alive. I will say it now and up front. At no point should you ever feel sheepish about calling that favor in. I can never repay you for my son's life, so if at any point there is something you wish of me and it is within my power to grant it, you need only ask.
Ludviek nods his head, politely.
Sounds good to me.
At the very least, I insist you sleep here tonight. I have plenty of rooms to spare, and it will spare you from having to spend money at one of the obnoxiously expensive inns in this city.
Well, that is very much appreciated. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Of course. Now, It is rather late, but I imagine you all must be at least somewhat hungry. And these little snack cakes were delightful, but hardly a full meal, especially for travelers such as yourself. Donald sort of pipes up. I should point out, my stomach is still regrowing after all the time I spent emaciated, so maybe don't stuff my face. I'll try not to, son. But please, I insist, you are welcome to join me for dinner if you wish.
I shall take you on their offer. Ludviek looks to the others. Is like, yeah, you coming?
Well, I can't really say no to free food. So, I guess.
All right. So, with that in mind, Godfrey will sort of bring you all towards his dining hall. It won't be long before food is brought out. We don't necessarily have to get too deep into the weeds of this necessarily, unless there are specific questions any of you wish to ask or conversation topics you wish to bring up over the course of dinner.
What's the room arrangement going to be like?
We have sufficient rooms. I imagine I could give each of you one room each, or if you want to bunk up, we have sufficient enough of that too.
No account to make your maids your housekeepers work too hard. I would gladly share a room.
That'll be up to you. We don't have any other guests right now, so.
They got a lot of rooms.
We have 5 guest rooms in total. Each has 2 beds.
2
Do you entertain many guests?
More than you would think. I'm not a minister, but I get a remarkable number of people passing through my house. People who, need to talk to me, or people above my head, namely.
This is like an inn.
Well, I suppose you could consider it that, but I don't rent out my rooms to people. Generally speaking, the only people who get to use them are people who are here to give me orders or take orders from me. Random people I don't know don't generally get to spend any time here.
Oh, I could live like a princess for a day. Let's go. All right.
Maybe not a princess. I'm not quite that opulent. I just have an abundance of rooms because I have an abundance of employees.
I have never been to a city quite of this size before. I have to say, it is quite something to get used to.
I will say you would have actually been in Asmara before, Ludviek.
Oh, okay, damn it! I thought this was his first time being here.
No, you'll recall, like, this is like the city that you were bound for in the in your backstory.
Yes. You
arrived here. Whatever happened after that happened, and then you sort of set off on your own, and then that eventually led to Kanala's Rest.
Ah, bloody hell. Okay, I got that mixed up. Okay, I was thinking, I thought it was a different city. All right, my brain.
Yep, it's fine.
Am I the only one who's never been here before?
Kari's never been here. The 2 Kraven have never been here.
Yeah, the two that are the travelers.
Okay, then rewind my whole conversation. It's like, it's been a while since I've been in the city. Has there been any recent developments that are of interest?
Well, it depends on who you ask. If you ask the regular folks going about their day-to-day lives, basically nothing of note has changed. If you ask me, I'm being worked nearly to the bone by my employers, and I have a very hard time dealing with it. Oh. Donald, who's kind of nursing a bowl of broth with some carrots mixed in, sort of glances up. In what way? I'm not sure how much of that I should get into with your friends. No offense to you all, but my work is generally, on the down low.
We were in Anthony not too long ago, and from down there, it sounded like the Commander-at-Arms himself also had his hands full. Seems there are quite many things happening.
That would be a completely different issue. I don't work in military matters.
Either or. Not our place to snoop. Just our place to eat and enjoy your company.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
We're not pariahs.
Isn't that someone who is like a priest?
No, that's a friar.
Ah, right.
Either or, that was delicious. Absolutely divine. Would rate it very well.
Well, I'm glad to know my humble kitchens rank up with the finest of tavern meals.
Oh, top tier. Especially when I haven't had a home cooked meal in quite some time. Well, quite some time. I should say like a couple of days, really, honestly, because we went back to Antarine, but in the grand scheme of things, it's been a while.
You tend to ramble,
Well,
don't
but
you?
travel lessons.
You tend to ramble a bit, don't you?
Well, listen, if you got a mouth as big as mine, you gotta use it.
He sort of looks over towards Tora. You hear that, Tora? You need to talk more. I talk plenty, sir. Besides, I have a beak, not a mouth. It's a little different. And it's a matter of proportion, too. A kobold's mouth is much larger in proportion to their body than a Kroven's beak is in proportion to theirs.
Are you saying I have a big nose?
Well, you are very good at sniffing out things.
Okay.
My nose is big.
My nose is big. There we go. There's the joke.
Yep, we managed to work it in. Well,
Either or, I think.
Tuki.
Look, go ahead.
No, Tuki. I've been taking the spotlight. It's your turn.
I've had a bit much excitement for too much spotlight, but I was going to ask if there was any way to figure out what classes someone might be taking in the academy.
Well, it depends on which academy you're going to. This is a big city. It has more than a few academies and universities for different fields: magic, arts, culinary things, military.
Someone studying to be a magi?
If you're wanting to find one of the magi, chances are they'll be in one of the central universities. That magic is such a core pillar of our society, so most students of that, if it's their core focus and not just tertiarily related, will probably be in the central university, closer to the center of the city. Those are generally pretty hard to get into, even if you're just visiting.
No worries, Tuki. We'll get you in there. One way or another.
I have a degree of influence with universities. I wouldn't necessarily be able to cover your ass if, for whatever reason, something went awry, but I could at the very least probably get you in. What are you after?
Just trying to find someone as well. Not nearly as pressing as Minnove. Just a family member of a friend.
Well, generally speaking, students have their own dorms sort of adjacent to campuses if they're from out of city, so more often than not, those are more easily accessible to guests, so if you arrive when lessons aren't necessarily in session, I could probably write you up a little letter to get you guest access to those, so whoever you're looking for, you can find them there.
I would very much appreciate it.
One other thing, as he's sort of finishing off a glass of wine he was sort of taking care of. Excuse me. Would I be correct in assuming that your your company are generally open to... I don't want to say mercenary work, because that sounds perhaps a bit demeaning to your sensibilities and all of this.
Not at all. That's actually what I do.
Well, if
Bit
that...
mismatched.
If that is the case, I do not wish to come across as if I'm trying to take advantage of you. You brought me my son back, I owe you a debt, but at the same time, I did mention a bit ago that my work has been tearing my ass apart, so to speak, over the last week or so. If that doesn't get cleaned up in the next few days, would you perhaps be amenable to an opportunity for more employment?
It would depend on what the work itself is. But I have done many things.
Without
That's
going
actually
into
the reason why I'm here in this town.
Well, without going into finer specifics, I wouldn't want to do that until I'm absolutely certain. It would involve a degree of traveling, some time in the wilderness, and potentially dealing with hostile creatures or elements.
Well, lucky for you, we have quite some experience of traveling and hostile environments and such.
Well,
Sounds right up my alley.
Either or.
we'll wait and see at the very least. Again, I don't necessarily want to ask this of you unless I have no other choice, but if you are willing, that is good to know in advance. Well then, I do not wish to be rude, but I still have much I wish to discuss with my son, and much of that I wish to have in private. So,
No worries. I wish to hit the hay, hit the sack, whatever you do. I'm gonna go pick a room. If anyone wants to share a room with me, they're more than welcome. But I'm gonna go pick a room.
I'm going to find a place to lay my head as well.
very well then. Tora, would you do me a kindness and show them to the guest rooms, please? Of course, sir. Follow me.
If you don't mind, Minnove, I'll share a room with you.
Heck yeah, girl night. Girl talk. Gonna get our nails done. Gonna do all that girly stuff.
Has been quite a while since I've done that.
I've never done it, so it's very exciting.
If you want nail polish, I can get some. I'm not sure any of... we do have some, yes. There is some around the building, yes. On occasion we have individuals of high personage who wish to maintain their makeup, but none of them are here now, and those supplies aren't being used while they're away. I don't see why not. That being said, I'm not sure either of you would get much use out of lipstick. You don't.
Oh, I have ideas.
That concerns me.
So much.
just the way you said that makes me uncertain. But it is not my place to pry. You said it yourself. It is girls' night, and I am not a girl. I am a brittle old man.
I mean, you could be an honorary girl. There's no against it.
Isn't that what Kari is?
What?
Ludviek. Ludviek. I just want you to know that I do not appreciate this jab at me.
What does that even mean?
I think it's referring to the fact that he's been drawn as Daphne.
Oh, that's not canon. That's not in.
Oh, no, it was more so because the both times that he went down, he went.
Oh,
and fell down in combat.
Anyway.
Oh, Ludviek, you're sometimes so funny.
Yeah, Tora just kind of wrinkles up his face a little bit. An honorary girl. I mean, if you would have this brittle old man among your ranks, I would be honored.
Oh, Tuki, we're gonna get so into it.
I would ask you don't put makeup on me, though. It is hard to wash out of my feathers.
No worries, you're part of the plan.
Just kind of tilts his head at you.
Don't worry, it's perfectly fine and perfectly legal. We're not going to do anything bad, okay?
Kari is going to look over to him and say, how... Is there a comfortable room very far away from wherever they are about to be sleeping? I don't think I want to be near them tonight.
All of the guest rooms are in the same hall, but they are in a line. They can take the one on the far and you on the other side if you wish.
Are you scared, Kari?
I don't want to be kept awake with your incessant prattling all night.
Prattling?
Ooh.
Yes,
cute.
prattling.
I don't really care.
Thank you, Boron.
I've
gonna grin.
slept through battles.
I slept through a
That's
fire
right,
alarm once.
They won't keep me up.
That is concerning, God.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about it when we're out of session. It was a big surprise when I got up the next morning. Anyway, so you are escorted to the various guest rooms. As you're kind of walking by Tuki, Tora actually slips into whistle tongue and just asks, I take it your friend was asking about the yearning for your sake.
Is it really that obvious?
To one like me it is. I am an old man. I've met a fair few of our people who are unable to settle.
Yes, he was. It was very kind of him, but I'm fairly certain it's a waste of time.
Probably it is. But it is kind. Let him try. And for whatever it is worth, coming from a stranger, I do hope you find what settle is yours.
Tuki's not gonna know what to say, but she'll nod and click her beak a few times.
I hope your sleep is restful.
Not
Now,
often.
I need to go and put away some dishes. And he goes and starts walking off down the hall.
Shall we settle in?
Oh, we are not settling. I'm telling you something. And she's gonna, slip into the room. Were they in the hall? I don't know. Were they in the room or were they in the hall?
You're in a room now. You were in the hall when
You're in
that
a room now.
conversation was happening.
Okay. Minnow's gonna slip into the room. Be like, okay, Tuki. So, this is the plan, okay?
Alright.
So, you and I are gonna do our nails and be all girly and do all those girly stuff. Because I honestly miss that and need that in my life sometime. I did tell you we did need a spa day too. We're gonna do a spa day tomorrow. Sometime. Not sure when, but tomorrow.
Okay.
Spa. Okay? But
This music is very fitting.
I know, that's why I picked it.
so, Tuki. How sneaky are you?
Pretty sneaky, I think.
Now,
I suppose I have stories of places I managed to get into that I shouldn't.
Perfect. So we're gonna have some fun. Everybody's been a little bit dour and a little bit gloom and so on and so forth. I mean, there's been some laughter, but need something to remind you that you're alive and such, right?
Sure.
We're gonna put makeup on Boron's face.
Oh dear.
Give him a full face of makeup, all right? And then we're also gonna do, Kari and Ludviek's nails, okay?
I feel like that is 50% safer.
Oh, trust me, Boron sleeps like a rock. I've tried before. I've tickled his nose. He doesn't do anything.
Okay.
He's fine. Out like a light. Done like a doorknob. I'm not worried at all, Tuki. Trust me. What's Boron gonna do? Kill us? Oh god, he might kill us.
It's like, what you gonna do? Kill us? Hard cut to 2 graves on a hill and Boron nearby just munching on an apple. Idiots. Well, he has like whiskers painted onto his cheeks.
Alright, so.
And Kari and Ludviek are just up there mourning, but with very good nails.
Well, we also should pray. We do girlish stuff, and then we do girly stuff to them. We trick them.
Okay.
And we break in, we break out. It's easy. And we go back to bed, and we wake up, and everybody's like, ah, ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Because everyone will think that, right? No one will be upset.
Right?
Right? Oh my god. Have you ever thought about braiding Boron's beard? Oh my goodness.
He doesn't really have a beard. He has mutton chops, but his chin is bare.
Well, okay, is mutton chops. God.
Braided mutton chops.
Sounds Norse.
They are very long.
Anyway,
Gets
I
them,
think it's a great idea and a great fun idea. What do you think, Tuki?
Sure. I'm just not used to having much impact on people's lives.
No, Tuki. Stick with me a little bit. You'll be fine.
Right. Well then. With that, your mischievous plans thus laid, you rummage around through the nearby vanity. You find an abundance of lipsticks and powders and blushes and all the other things that come up with makeup. I don't know makeup. I'm sorry. I've never done makeup in my life.
Contour, blush, highlights. We got the whole shebang. The foundation, the concealer. We got it.
God, so much effort to hide yourself. What the fuck?
Don't forget eyeliner, eyeshadow, and also anything for fullness of the eyelashes.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Working in theater, you have to work with makeup.
Christ. Okay, well, so you find all of that shit in its medieval equivalent. I know nothing of this topic, so I'm going to leave it to the women to spearhead the charge here. I will say, I won't necessitate any roles for yourselves because, like, you're doing yourselves. You know what you're doing. But I will just ask for a uniform stealth check from the two of you when you decide to go and start doing your shenanigans. Because the people you are doing it to are asleep, I will give you advantage. Your DC will be their passive perception.
Before we get to that, is there something we could do like that was happening in between that?
If you
like
want
what we're doing in our own room?
If there's something you wish to do, yes.
Yes, actually, Actually, this actually comes into question with you, because I looked over the magic before, and is holy water a thing in your world?
People think so.
People think so. Okay, because all right, well, that was actually something
I mean,
actually wanted
you
to do
can
as part
bless
of-
water, but on the grounds that you're not going to be running across fiends or undead, it's basically not going to matter.
Yeah, because undead are really impossible in this world because
So,
of,
like,
yeah,
one guy
elementals.
like one guy managed to make a single zombie and determined it was not cost effective.
Okay, so it's mostly, are we going to come across fiends? Yeah. All right. Well, no, you know what? Then I think I'll just put that on hold and I'm not going to expend spell slots then. I was going to create that, but then I'm just like, yeah, you're right. Only fiends. Well, you know what? What the hell? We're going to have him use 2 spell slots to create 2 vials of that using the
Okay.
spell list.
This is let's see. This is a spell that says it requires a certain gold amount of a certain type of material. So in Pale Ring lore, or at least with the Pale Ring magic cast system, that means you can only cast that once per day. Since you don't actually need the actual material component, you just need your ring stone. But any spell that has that component is limited to once per long rest.
Okay, well, then we'll just have it do once then, and just create 1 vial of blessed water.
All right.
Because in Paladin's toolkit, it helps to have everything. And I'll just add that to my inventory. Just a blessed vial of blessed water, then, I guess.
Sure, I guess.
And I think that is all he would do, aside from, armor maintenance and just a little bit of polishing. I mean, Minnove basically got everything clean with that little nice prestidigitation. He makes a note to thank her in the morning. And that would be all Ludviek does before heading to bed.
At which point, I now need that stealth roll from the 2 of you. You both get advantage on the grounds that everyone is asleep. So 18.
Everyone's asleep.
I assume so. Oh my god. All right. So an 18 and a 26. I don't think anyone in the party has a higher passive perception than either of those.
Nope. I have 15.
You think? I mean, you'd be right.
Look, man, you don't start getting into the really high and obnoxious passive perceptions until higher levels when you can take the feats that knock it up to like 20 or something. I would know. My level 15 Arcane Trickster has a passive perception of like 25. Because I spec'd entirely into that. Now, there's one more roll.
Okay, what?
Sleight of hand.
All right, we got this, Tuki. You and me together.
Is this also at advantage?
No,
or...
because now you are directly handling people's hands.
Okay.
Okay. So I got an 18.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so then, it is...
Beautification cannot be stopped.
It is honestly kind of shocking, Tuki, how flawlessly this all goes for you. So, please, ladies, tell me, what do you do to these poor fuckers that they shall wake up to come tomorrow?
So, I say for Boron, we braid his mutton chops. We give him a very beautiful face of makeup. Make him look gorgeous. Even braid like little braids in his like hair.
Okay.
And then we get to when we get to Ludviek. Anything that you want to do with Boron there.
Were you also wanting to like do any face paint, like give him whiskers or something?
His mutton chops are about an inch long. It's kind of difficult to braid.
Oh, don't
His
worry.
hair is about like 3 inches.
Maybe not braided necessarily, but tied?
Definitely looks like someone like carefully like put it up or like did something with it. Permed it or something? Curled it?
You could color it.
I don't think we have.
You have two 26s in your roll spectrum here. I will allow it. If you want to dye his hair for a day, you are welcome to do so within reason.
I say we dye his hair red.
We could just do the gray streaks, turn them red.
That'd be so cute. Oh my god.
And was there going to be any drawing on the face, like cat whiskers or anything?
I say a full.
I was gonna say that's up to Minnove.
I'd say a full face of makeup, like absolutely gorgeous. Like make him look like a drop dead woman.
Like
You going full
Tuki is
geisha
like,
on
With
him?
mutton chop.
like Tuki is like 75% heart attack right now.
Minnove keeps on being like, "Don't worry, don't. Fine, we're fine. Don't stop shaking. Stop."
All right, so Boron gets braided hair and mutton chops to the best of your ability. The gray streaks in his hair are dyed red, and his full face is just makeup to hell and back.
Essentially, he looks like right now he looks like a really pretty dwarven woman. This is the goal.
All right, okay. Really?
Some say there
like,
are no dwarf women, but how can that be possible with this dwarf woman present in front of us right now?
he's a half dwarf too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like somewhere far away, Danica just looks up like, I take great offense. I am the signature dwarf woman, damn it. Anyway.
And then when we get to Ludviek, because I'm assuming they're either in the same room or near each other, we're gonna braid Ludvik's hair, his entire mane, like full like little tiny like braids.
All right.
I'm gonna braid his gonna like comb his luscious mustache into a beautiful like even bigger fluffier curl, like kind of give it a perm.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna put some
like he gets a snidely whiplash.
gonna give him some blush, some cute little blush. Gonna give him some mascara, so his eyes really pop.
I don't know how to spell that,
And then
so I'm just gonna
we're
spell
gonna
it wrong.
SCCERA?
MAS.
I was close. I had too many R's and an E where it did not belong. Proceed.
And we're going to paint his claws a beautiful shade of what shade do you think fits Ludviek, Tuki?
Perhaps green to go with his tunic?
Do we have green? Oh, we got green. Oh my god. Okay. And starts like doing his claws. Nice, beautiful green.
Sparkly.
Very sparkly, very shiny.
Sparkly, glittery green.
Then I'm going to kill
It
us.
is amazing. I don't think I've seen a grave dug this deep before.
They're not
Let's
gonna
be real
kill us,
here.
Tuki.
Ludvik's going to love it. It's like, I don't know that I do this in my own time, but it is a funny thing to wake up to.
Tuki, they're not gonna kill
You
us.
already stole the words out of my mouth, man.
They're gonna think it's
Harmless,
hilarious.
easy to wash out.
They're gonna think it's hilarious, and it's gonna be great. Now,
Oh, Kari is going to kill you.
Kari is the not if I make Kari look beautiful enough. That's the key. Kari is a very beautiful bird, so make him more beautiful, and he'd love it.
Okay.
Tuki, look at me in my eyes. Okay.
That's very difficult.
No,
I
stop.
I don't look anyone in the eyes.
Okay, look at my nose, horn, I guess.
Okay.
Are they in Kari's room right now?
I don't think so.
They're in the hallway. Minnove's trying to calm her down.
Okay.
Focus. You got this. Use that yearning energy you got and use it for excitement.
It wants to go that way.
Don't, it's fine, Tuki, it's fine. Don't worry. Come on. They're gonna laugh about this in the morning. It's gonna be a hoot. And so she sneakily goes into Kari's room.
Okay.
All right.
So,
We're gonna preen his feathers.
Okay. Actually,
give
I'm
him a
going to go
nice-
ahead and cut in here real quick, just for a second. Feather preening among Kraven is considered a very intimate thing. Like, that's their equivalent of kissing. So,
Oh,
and Tuki would know that. Minnove might not. Tuki absolutely
Minnove
does.
has no idea. Minnove starts like kind of like grabbing like loose kind of pin feathers like ever so carefully.
He's not in his room.
What?
No, he's not in there right now. Actually, there's something else that he's doing. Like, this is something else that I was already planning on happening, and this is just making it funnier.
Okay, what were you doing, Kari?
Minnove comes in to open his door sneakily.
He's not pulling any pranks. He just knows what he wants to ask. He knows what he wants his favorite thing to be.
Oh? So he's gone to talk to Gottfried about it?
Yes, right now.
Okay, let's do that real quick then. Well, we have 8 minutes to go. We can just say, like, Minnove, you open up the door while you're saying, don't worry, we'll preen his feathers, but that's a very private thing. Where the fuck did he go? Cut away.
Where is he gone?
The fuck did he go? So, Kari, you sort of having figured out what you want your favor to be, make your way sort of back towards that sort of a sitting room where you'd initially been, and it's easy enough to clock that like that's where they're currently hanging out, and you sort of hear them talking to each other in sort of muffled tones. How do you proceed?
Oh, is the door closed?
It's open like an inch.
Well, he's not going to be rude. He's going to lightly knock.
All right. So sort of wrap the back of one of your scaled knuckles against it. Who is it?
I gotta look at my sheet for my last name again. 1 second.
I thought it was pronounced like Treadle Dial.
Yes, I just needed to look at the word again. Kari, Tradial. I need to keep practicing it. I haven't said it in a while.
You had to give yourself a hard to pronounce name. It's your own damn fault, buddy.
It's not hard to pronounce, it's just easy to forget.
I feel like mechanically that's the same thing, but anyways, proceed. We only have a few minutes left.
Okay. Kari, I need just but a moment of your time.
Oh, go ahead then. Come in.
He's going to step in and say, my apologies for the interruption, but I will make it brief.
Right, 1 second. Okay, proceed. I was putting on my shirt. I had to take off my headphones.
Okay. Apologies for the interruption. I will make it brief. There is something very important I do wish to ask of you. Though I wish to ask of it without, not amongst the company of the others, because they have no business in my business.
All right. I'm listening.
He is going to step further, and he's not going to take a seat because he doesn't want to seem like he's staying for long.
Right.
Yeah, so he's going to say, I'm looking for a horned dwarf.
A horned dwarf?
A horned dwarf.
That's a description I'm not familiar with. I can make like like I did with your kobold friend. Run it by my people, and if any of them have come across such an individual, they can inform me.
If you're able to get me any sort of a lead on this individual, then at least then you can consider your debt to me entirely repaid. It is very important to me.
Understood. I'll let my people know, and if they have heard or seen anything, I'll be sure to run it by you.
Thank you. I will leave you to your back to your catching up.
Of course.
With this, he's going to leave, and can I roll to see if I find them in his room?
Sure, you two
no?
can. Both of you go ahead and roll me. Both of you roll me a D12, if you'd please, and whoever rolls higher, just Minnove, Kari, both roll me a D12, please.
Okay. Just D12. Okay.
Minnove rolled a 10. Kari rolled a 4. All right, so by the time Kari gets back, I imagine Minnove and Tuki will have probably backed out.
Okay.
So
Minnove did leave a letter, though, saying, fuck you.
oh.
Kari's going to pick it up and look at it. So are you all familiar with the GIF from oh, what is it? The movie. I'm blanking on it right now. The businessman, business card.
American Psycho.
American Psycho.
Yes, you know the American Psycho GIF where he like is looking at the business card and then he just kind of drops
My God,
it.
it's even embroidered.
Yeah, that's him looking at this letter.
I will say it is very pretty calligraphy.
I imagine it looks like the calligraphy from SpongeBob's essay. Fuck you.
This GIF right here that I'm
But
sorry,
the audience cannot see.
Audience, you can't see it, but you know the one.
All right. So it's just like, that's annoying. I imagine that there's probably just like a playful face doodled in the margins to make it clear like this fuck you is not actually intended to be hostile. So it's like a jab. It's like a playful jab. Fuck you.
It's like a lol. You escaped this time.
It's like oh fuck you. So you kind of just see that, just like kind of cast it off to one side. And with that, we're going to have to call it for the night because we are out of time. We have less than 60 seconds. So that's an interesting note to end the session on. But thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, so much for joining us for this session of Ringlight Fables. It was much fun. We'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourselves, keep listening, and don't be a dick. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Farewell.